responsible for complying with law, da-da-da-da-da, on the first, it's not the second picture, but the first picture.
Which set of pictures are you looking
This one right here.
at? Okay.
No, hold on, did I give that wrong?
Zoning
I gave-
application.
Zoning application,
Okay,
sorry,
gotcha.
on the zoning application.
Okay.
Okay,
It's a lot of information.
it is. But a lot of your towns are going with a lot of information, so you guys have a very clear picture what you're looking at. It's not, what is this I'm looking at? I'm not quite understanding this. Is this the north or the south? Is this, I mean, there's places that they ask for more. I mean, it's something that, and you know, you guys, I'm sure will go through it. You'll probably delete some stuff. I mean, you're not hurting my feelings. I just come up with something that I thought was a better plan than what we already had in existence. Okay? The next one, and I just threw this in there, this come out of the code book, was the Town of Fromberg zoning variance, and we just put application at the top of it. It is listed under special review procedure. It's the one that they have always used, where you have to contact your neighbors within 300 feet. Underneath it, I put what the Billings variance deal is, and the only thing that's really different about the City of Billings variance application, and I like it much better, is the fact that you have to get a certified list of names. It isn't, you just pick your names. And the reason I say this, and I know, you know, some of you go, oh, well, we should work on the honor system. Well, I can tell you when people have filled out variances before, that they have went to people who have rented, and the owners aren't the ones that signed off. And you can get into a real huge deal on that. And so I just printed those two deals off. It gives you something to kind of go by and go from there.
Are you referring to this document?
Mm-hmm. That's off of Billings.
See, you don't have a city board of adjustment.
Yeah, I know we don't. But what it gives you is, if you read through, you will find a lot of the stuff is very similar to ours.
You don't have one. What you have is a special review process.
Special review,
But this has to do with only the proposed use of property.
proposed use, and then it goes back to if you want.
This has to do with the proposed, yeah, this is for a change
Okay.
of use.
Change of use,
This
yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to do with setbacks.
No, but I mean, if you was to want to put a business in on your property,
yes.
it's just a variance deal for that.
I
And
understand.
no, it has nothing to do with setbacks. It was just to give you an idea
I
how
understand.
Billings does theirs, we do ours. Ours is pretty similar in stature, other than a couple things.
Actually, you don't have one with regards to variances on actual zoning applications. You do for variances in use.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry. I
But
didn't
it's
interrupt.
just,
I know. I know
it
what
was
you're doing.
just to give a guideline of how it was similar in stature, and they were always saying they didn't have a different deal, but that's basically it.
Yeah, because we do have a step-by-step procedure to go through for variance. The only thing that we didn't have, and that's what we wanted to get done tonight, was an application.
But and that's why I just printed it off, and you can see on the Billings back one is a pretty, they just staple their one deal together and print off their application or whatever. And that's what they
Yeah,
have.
I've looked online at Billings's thing too,
Yeah.
the variance and the application, yeah.
The only other thing, guys, we all need to get on the same page as far as the fact that, for us, I don't know how, Eldon, what information did you get when you got appointed?
I actually was thinking about that this week. We got zero information on the lot size, of course. Everything else, we did get a little piece of paper from Brenda that had a little drawing there with a box here, a box here, a box here, no dimensions, but 25 feet marked from the street, that's all. And as far as what the responsibilities are for the zoning committee, zero. Okay, now this is what I've been thinking about all week, and I think it's extremely important. If you're going to have a zoning committee and they actually have some clout and some responsibility, there need to be at least a certain amount of list of responsibilities and perhaps even a little bit of training. For example, if you're going to be putting in water or sewer, I know this because it happened to me, and I didn't have any water or sewer, I didn't want any. But they came and checked and make sure I didn't even put the connections into my cement. Okay? If you're gonna do that, you don't have to have it with the city of Fromberg, but you have to get it from the county or state or whatever. Okay, the zoning people are supposed to know how to check that stuff, and they're the ones that can report in, and it's their job to do this. If the zoning people have any clout at all. But see, none of this stuff we got zero information. We had zero information about anything, and if we make some mistakes in what we say, well, wow, that's going to happen. We have to have some basic information, and we have to have some basic responsibilities. And I think some really good training would be extremely important.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea, buildings, a lot of them have bylaws, and one of the deals that's required is so many hours of study a week, you know, or a month or whatever. And so you can know your information when somebody's calling or asking. Half the time, I don't know. I got asked something the other day to look at a deal, and I said, I have to go look it up because I'm not familiar enough.
Right, and that's happened before, because when I was on the zoning committee, we didn't have anything, I just, you know.
Did you read all those things?
I read a lot of the zoning permit, the ordinances and things like that.
Okay.
And listened to what Bill Rivers told me. I didn't listen to a lot of other things, but I listened to what Bill said. So,
Is this
And then
still
just kinda
viable,
went
the
by-
zoning, the code, or not?
The most recent is 2004.
Two thousand.
The zoning
That's
has
on
been
the,
revisited.
is any of it viable or not?
Yes.
Okay, if Brenda, if you could print off 3 copies, binder them.
Exactly.
Like
I think
Mr.
exactly the
Vargas
same
come in
thing.
the other day, went to fill out a deal, I had to write it out so Lisa could look it up, and he doesn't do computer, and I understand that, and for me, computer is one thing, but when I have to really study something, I have to have hard copy in front of me.
Exactly.
So if hard copy was made available, it's excellent.
I agree 100%.
I think I need to address this. You need to have something in place in the ordinances to say this is what the zoning committee is, this is how people are appointed to it, these are their duties. I agree with you. You need something in place so that you can say, we follow this procedure, this is what the committee does.
I think it does have a very brief, short little thing in the town code addressing what the zoning committee's duties are.
And right now, their duty is to review change of use and I think approve annexations or investigate annexations. You need to be specific as to what they do on a daily basis, and that is go out and look at setbacks and look at plans, and make recommendations. I agree.
Yeah, as long as we have some clarification with that, and the other thing is a set time. You know, if an application comes in, I don't want to be looking at it without Elton, and I don't think it's right that, you know, because both of our signatures should be on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we should, you know, if it comes in by the 10th of the month, it'll be reviewed at the next meeting. If it's after the 10th of the month, it waits till the
Yes.
meeting after that.
Exactly.
So we're not pushed running around making stupid decisions and saying, sign this. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing that. I want to be sure that everything I look at is
And that was
accurate.
one thing that we were never required to do, was sign our names to anything.
Well, I think if I'm
Mine
asking
was
you.
signed off. Mine was signed off.
I think if I'm asking you to sign it as a committee, I need to have some skin in the game that you know that I am viable by what I say.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
So is that something that Hope you could draw up for us, or?
As part of the emergency or interim ordinance, I can put in a provision or a section that says this is your zoning committee, this is how it's made up, there's 3 members, they're appointed by the council to sit for so many years, that these are their duties, and that their approval or their recommendation of the council will come at the next meeting after they've reviewed it, and so forth, and there will be an application available, and these are the things that are needed in the application, you know, site plan, plat, whatever, property, and so forth.
Should they be interviewed? It looks to me like that interview of what the person stands for, if they're going to do a good job, would be better than just,
Just appointing someone.
yes.
Yeah, it's true too.
Yeah, because, you know, I can be really honest with you here. I wanted to be on it because there had been like 6 mishaps that had torqued people off across town. And, you know, I thought, well, you know, we do have these ordinances. They just haven't been, or they're in the code, they just haven't been adhered to. Everybody's kind of taken it upon themselves to go, you know, we can get away with this one here, or whatever. And I thought, no, I want to change it. But I really, I'm going to have to be honest with you, I had no idea till I went to researching. It was like, oh my God. I think I had to read this 4 times, and then I had to go on Billings, and I had to go on several different ones to go, what did I get myself into?
Not to bring up a sore subject, but you need another floodplain administrator too. That's
I
pretty
know.
complicated.
Yeah, it's,
That's the whole, it's, you know, you can put into your zoning ordinances, you must follow the floodplain, you know, requirements as well. And you can do that, and then leave it to the floodplain administrator to check, enforce, and so forth. But I think that Rich was doing that, because nobody was stepping forward to do it.
I don't know if Matt would be interested or some. There he is. Because I'll tell you what, I was impressed. Matt found the maps and I couldn't find the maps online, and I was looking for them right and left, and I was like, we don't even have a floodplain administrator if me and Elton get called to someplace to say, hey, wait a minute, you have a problem with a floodplain, and I can't find it online, and I'm fighting my head.
I don't think that you want to
We
do
don't.
that.
No.
I
No.
think you're
Just
should be
our deal,
limited
yeah.
to
Just
the-
our
I
deal,
agree.
but
Yeah.
And then there is a county floodplain administrator that can bring whoever up to
just to
speed.
send them to the county.
And there is training available, free training for that position. But it is something that all the incorporated towns and cities are required to have.
Well, we've had some posters and stuff up and asking for somebody. We need another person on the zoning committee too, and we have one other person interested in that, so.
So are those things
Oh,
that
come
you
on.
can contract out?
What's that?
Is that something you can contract out? Can you have, like, I know that you can contract for, you know, planners and stuff like that. Can you contract for a zoning person?
I think it's an unpaid
It's
position.
a voluntary, yeah, it's a voluntary position, it's not a
So
contract.
you can't, so nobody's gonna want that job. Gotcha.
You do?
Just out of the goodness of your
I'm leaving, so no.
The zoning committee has always been volunteer.
Volunteer.
So is the floodplain administrator, volunteer. Although there is, like Hope said, classes for both in different areas of the state, and they do the MMIA or Department of Transportation. A lot of people get the classes, and we usually try to get them as close to Billings as we can.
Okay, this is an off-the-wall idea and just a possibility. Is there a possibility of sharing a floodplain administrator?
With the county,
The county has one.
the
We
county
should
has
have
one,
The
and
county
they
has one.
can Yeah, and we could probably get him to come down and, you know,
I don't know, I think that usually the town's required to have their own. That's why Rich stepped forward and just put his name down.
Yeah, I know that Mike Credence was beforehand.
mhm.
And his name was up when Rich picked somebody else. He still might be able to be had. I know that Mike can be a little different. Him and I have crossed paths, but we still get along very well.
But Mike does,
He does a good
balance.
job.
when he studies law, Mike studies what it's.
Well, what they need to do is get with the county floodplain administrator and understand the regulations
Yeah,
and get that person involved. It's the same person as the sanitarian, his name's Josh Flores.
Oh, the health inspector guy, yeah.
okay. Well, that's all I have. Sorry to.
Okay,
No, I agree about everything you have to say.
yeah, that's a, we need some
Something in place.
presentations there, Tammy. We will definitely do this and consider it. We need to actually get, the zoning committee and, council together too and go through some of this stuff so we can get it
Mhm.
clarified. And then we can give it to Hope so that we can get it, typed up and the way it should be, and then codified later.
Maybe when.
And I don't even know, is any of our town code codified, any of our ordinance codified?
Yes, it is codified.
Okay.
There is a version that's codified, and then there's the separate ordinances. See what the ordinances are, they're individual, they're, speak to one topic, and then what codification does is it puts it in a book under chapters and titles,
Mm-hmm.
addressing
Town
each
code,
subject.
yeah, okay.
And actually, by law, you're supposed to codify it every 4 years, but
Yeah, there we go.
Well, yeah, and there's some discrepancies I heard today, and I didn't have a chance to check them with some things that probably, I'll get on the line and check, but probably need changed ASAP as far as the amount of building per lot. I think that has changed. I kind of got word today, but I didn't have a chance to look it up. And, you know, it could put us in kind of a problem if we don't.
Were you looking at the one that was changed from 45 to 35%?
Someone was informing me that that has changed to 30% state code.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, well, I haven't.
And I don't, like I said, I have not had a chance to check it.
Well,
Don't take that for,
Yeah, because the last one I looked at was 45 and then 35, but it was, there was a, the reason was because of the layout of the lots and the sizes of the buildings. So if you say you had, say you're on a half acre of property and you've got a little teeny farmhouse, but you want to build this great big huge barn, so you're getting more and more into the 35% rather than the 45% of residential.
yeah. No, this was just something that somebody informed me, and I thought, I gotta check this, because I don't, you know,
Yeah.
you don't want to bring that up unless you know for a fact that's how it is.
You ought to need a skyscraper.
Okay. Oops. Does anyone have anything to add to Tammy's presentation? Any ideas, any thoughts? Thanks, Tammy.
She's doing a good job.
Yeah, she did. Tammy's dedicated, that's one thing you can say about her.
Yep.
Gets really into it. Correspondence.
I had to work. Sorry. So,
no.
Okay. You had something in there.
Well, the town did send out a letter to two businesses in town to let them know that their business license was past due.
Okay, do we have something in here from Mr. Vargas?
No, they had think there's a permit or something, or application for a permit. We also have.
Excuse
a-
me. You're missing Mark Vargas's, Vargas's whole zoning thing.
That's right, we put that on.
Yep.
The only thing he wants to change is a smaller house, which is,
Yeah, the, application for, Mr. Vargas.
Correct.
Yeah. He, they bought the barley field and he wants to put a, modular on it, a smaller modular. The zoning on it, or the code says that, the barley field, and this is where we kind of got into a little, thing with the barley field, because the code says one thing, it said, or the town ordinance says 1,000 feet, main floor structure. 1,000 square feet, but in the zoning just for the barley field says 1,200 square feet, but it also mentions subdivision.
But they're not subdivided.
No, they're not, and they're not going to. Remaining property, approximately 10 acres, known as the barley field, shall be sold to the developer as residential A under certain restrictions, which include the following, and that includes the dwelling of no less than 1,200 square feet. And he is a single senior adult that does not need that much room. And so, that's. What?
How do you know?
Because he told me. He came right in, he told the zoning, Tammy was here.
Just asking.
Well, don't ask. Keith.
So the object of him putting this in now is so that Tammy and they can look at it and do all
So
of
they
it.
can go and check that out.
he didn't sign his application.
They signed the application. You sign it.
Somebody will yell.
Signature, no.
On the first page.
Oh, yeah, Pope says he did on the very
letter
first
signed,
page.
yeah.
Well, he signed his letter. He did not sign the application.
Okay,
Somebody else will.
Yeah,
that's
You've
all
seen
right.
it.
I'll get it.
I'm just trying to sort through my stuff here. So if you guys wanna look at that.
Now, what do we do? We have to we have to table this motion.
We can,
They've, excuse me, can I interject here? Am I allowed?
Go ahead.
10 seconds.
This is a field. Okay? And he's given you all the information on his paperwork. And if it's a field and there's no houses right there and all this, why are they're asking for a vote on this tonight if they can get a vote. So that he can go ahead and,
City property, right? I mean,
No, it's
it's
their
the barley
It's their
field.
property.
well, yes,
10
but I
acres.
mean, yeah, but it's within the city, right?
It's,
I
yeah,
don't
it's
see
in the
any
city.
reason that
It's in the
Right.
a
city.
house can't
City
be
limits.
under. We shouldn't be
No.
dictating the size of the house.
No, we shouldn't.
No.
I agree with that.
Once the barley field is sold, the subdivision requirements, the size of the house, and so forth, it's not gonna be applicable.
Yeah, but do we,
Setbacks would.
do we still turn this over to our zoning committee
I
to
think we could just
look at?
approve it.
and-
They've both seen it. Eldon's got a
Well,
copy
yeah,
of
the
this.
paper said 30 foot off of the property line, and so just to make sure, and I think the only problem that I think any of us would have seen was the size of the house according to that, whatever it was,
So,
2,000.
yeah, the ordinance, yeah.
Mhm.
Which
Well,
is
the
not
ordinance says one
subdivided,
thing
so
and
I
the
don't see
town
why it's
code
a problem.
says another.
It's not-
So you guys have already looked at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And what's your
do you
recommendation?
have a problem with him putting
I
a
don't
house?
think there can be a problem because it's not being subdivided.
Right.
So I think the whole question is kind of moot.
Yeah, I think he's legal.
That's how I felt too, but I wanted to get,
Well, and she just wanted everybody, she didn't want to say yea or nay without everybody else. Tammy
I can't
didn't.
say, oh, well, yeah, I understand that, and Tammy has looked at it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was pretty sure she did.
If they don't have any problems with it. I make a motion we accept Mr. Vargas's proposal.
I'll second
We have a motion to accept Vargas' application for zoning permit, and a second, all approved, or all in favor,
that.
all opposed?
But
Okay, that motion has
Sign her
passed.
copy. For future reference.
I just don't want to jump the gun and get ourselves in a jam.
You put your signatures there.
Yeah.
Hope says, print your name to sign.
Alright, what's the date today?
Today is 3/12/18.
Keep your sandbag ready this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Hope-
That flooded down there before.
I heard 88, Ted told me.
Okay, let's move on to
Thank you, sir.
correspondence.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Correspondence, we have a letter from the FrombergAdvocacy.com. And addressed to the town of Fromberg. And it's in reference to request to open record copies of any and all documentation transactions from all parties with and including the town of Fromberg regarding Tract 1A of COS 288, amended containing 10.53 acres, tax ID 2800700, commonly known as the Barley Field, from January 1, 2017 through today's date. This should include, but not limited to, buy-sell agreements, proposals, bid letters, closing statements, title insurance, policies, realty, transfer certificates, Carbon County paper of record, proof advertising, DNC water right transfers, survey of easement, granted to property commonly known as the baseball field, copies of Mayor Anderson's correspondence with regard to said transaction, meeting minutes detailing any barley field discussion, and proof as final amount and bank dispensation of funds.
I've responded.
And Hope has responded to that, to the FrombergAdvocacy.com.
Okay, what are the other two letters?
You have 2 other letters in correspondence.
Yeah, that's the ones that I meant. I said those before I read this. And this was to Tomahawk Restaurant and Lounge, Restaurant and Bar, regarding in regards to your Fromberg business license, which is past due in the amount of $125. This amount must be paid in full no later than March 30th, enclosed is a copy of Fromberg table of fees. To the Little Cowboy Bar, Randy Wyke, P.O. Box 463, Fromberg, Montana. Randy, this letter is in regards to your Fromberg business license, which is past due in the amount of $125. This amount must be paid in full no later than March 30th, 2018. Enclosed is a copy of the Fromberg table of fees. These are my copies.
Well, those are your copies?
I think so.
Okay. I do have a question about the Tomahawk.
Okay.
I understand they cannot use their bathroom and stuff on a new addition they put on.
Okay,
What's the deal? Why
I've
can't we?
been trying to work with Sue, and I finally gave up on it because I've been working with this since September of last year, of 2017. I had a meeting with Sue. She was talking about her water. Mike never contacted her when they had a backup in the water system, and therefore she was getting some backup in her water. She does not have any running water or a bathroom in that addition that she put on. Now, if she's talking about the cabins back in the back, I don't know.
Mhm.
But we were, at that point, we were talking about the addition with the bakery display and things like that.
Okay.
She also said that,
So she has a bathroom in it, she just can't use it, is that right?
no, she doesn't have a bathroom in that
So
addition.
there's
No
no bathroom,
water,
no
no
something?
bathroom, anything back
Not in the
there.
addition, in the restaurant.